Dan,
Or
give
can
me a
you?
3, 2, 1. Like,
Are we live?
we got the point.
We're live.
We got the 3.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
Hopefully we won't have that today.
Hopefully we won't have a Todd incident like of Raw Talk episode live Philadelphia
Classic Todd.
ever again. So what is that noise?
It's the
That's
intro
the
music.
normal music.
Why
that
is
you
it still
never
going?
hear. Because you didn't do your intro yet.
Oh, I need to do my intro, then that music stops?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
God, I never watched the show. Jared Poland, FronosPhoto.com. Welcome to episode of Raw Talk 228.
Live.
It's the
Live
first.
and direct.
It's the first one we're ever attempting to do live. It doesn't mean that we're always going to do them live. It's because we are testing out the live stream HD 550, which is a freaking
4K.
$10,000 box.
Yeah,
Now,
it's expensive.
thankfully, we have to thank B&H because I asked if we could review the unit, and we don't get to keep it. It actually has to go back soon, and then we have to make a decision on how to purchase this thing
it
or how
works.
to fund it.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're using. That's the live stream HD 550. It allows up to 4K. We've got 5 HDMI inputs into it.
5. It takes 5 HDMI, 5 SDI.
And so the one warning I'll give you, and just word of warning, is that this is the first time that Dan is switching, doing that. Did he do the test one?
Well, he did the test one with us, but that was more just messing around. We switched a lot of things out for today.
and I was away.
Warning!
So if you're listening at home, you're not actually watching this, but you could go follow it and watch it on YouTube as usual, or watch
Warning!
the live feed, which we may keep on Facebook. We're not really sure about that just yet.
Yeah.
So again, thank you to B&H. We'll be sending this back to them when we make a decision on what we're going to do. But the live streaming option, it's more about the live editing than anything.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yep.
hopefully going to open up other opportunities for other shows, for quicker turnaround of content for us.
One and done, hopefully.
That's the idea, is
Yeah.
that you can live switch it, and what's cool is that the box saves the ISOs. It saves the ISOs.
These separate recordings of each stream, pretty much, each input. It'll do
Yeah.
up to 4 ISO recordings.
which is good.
Yeah.
So that's
Which
what we're
is
doing
so
here.
dope.
So if we
So
wanted
dope.
to, we could theoretically take it into post and then re-edit like we normally would do original Raw Talks. But with this, we're hoping to just resync it up with some cleaner audio and post it to YouTube
That's
by the end
insane.
of today.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's the
Hopefully.
plan.
Yeah.
Try to have everything done live as possible, except Todd's voices that he may do won't be. They won't make as much sense yet.
The only issue we have is we don't have an actual soundboard at all. We have Todd's digital soundboard. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, I can't have my voice sound like it's going through a telephone.
Yes.
So when
I mean, even though it's not really your voice,
when I
it's
talk to
people
when
calling in.
people call in,
Yeah,
we can't
not
put
you.
that through their voices.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like that.
I was just watching the feed. I'm watching. I shouldn't be watching.
Squirrel.
And also, if you're watching on Facebook, we're not monitoring comments, but we do encourage you to leave comments because we will maybe chime in there every once in a while. At some point,
We'll have to see.
we're not actually going to do that. I just really
I
want them.
will.
I just really
I'll
want them to
probably
comment.
check out the
Oh no, but
comments.
we'll check out the comments after.
Jared's
so
gonna watch all of the comments.
I'm not.
This will be the first
Why
Raw
would
Talk
they even say that?
that Jared has ever
Why
watched.
do we
probably.
even do this?
Todd, is that mic etiquette? Are you actually backing away
I'm
from the mic?
trying.
I'll just say
I'm
that Dan
trying
missed
not
that
to yell
cut.
on the mic.
Dan missed that cut.
Well, keep in
Don't-
mind,
do not
Dan's got
look.
about a 10-second delay, or maybe a little less
Oh.
than that.
I'm sorry.
So his
Dan.
cuts are-
Yeah,
yeah.
but don't I see it instant right here?
No, it's a little delayed.
No.
But it's it's a split second delay. Dan, take
Maybe it's like
take
2
Todd's
seconds.
camera. Yeah, it's basically instant.
I mean, in real life, Dan's got like a 3-year delay because it took him like 5 years to get on Facebook. So
But the
Oh,
live stream
Jesus.
box, I mean, we've been planning this for quite some time, and it's finally working.
All right, so let's move on to one of the things I want to talk about is that there's a big, huge Allen's event on September 22nd, which is Friday, and then it's going to continue on to the 23rd from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. There may be a taco truck. I have to get verification on that. That is the wrong photo. That is okay. That will come up later. Dan will find the right photo in just a second, but that will be from 10 to 4. It's going to be all of the different companies from Nikon, Canon, Sony, Fuji. They'll all be there to showcase their wares. There will also be sensor cleanings. I believe it's going to be like $10. You could pre-purchase a ticket, but if you do, I think they're going to do $10 sensor cleanings, and then you can get a $10 credit towards buying something in the store. So there you got that. You can cut back to me now.
you're gonna be there.
I plan on being there on Saturday. I know Steven won't again.
Because every time I usually do something with iHeartRadio, and I'm not going to be home again. So
Right.
I'll be in Vegas.
I might come if there's tacos. If there's not tacos, there's no way I'm coming.
The taco truck is.
If the taco truck is
it's
there, I'm
amazing.
definitely going to be there. Yeah.
And then one more thing is that right before we get into all of the talking about the Raw Talkie stuff, the I Shoot Raw back to school shirt sale is going on. If you go to store.froknowsphoto.com, use the code B2SFRO and get 29% off your entire order of as much you well, all t-shirts, only t-shirts, not bags. No, all your shirts.
The bags are free.
Actually, the
with
bags
every
are right
order,
under Dan. That's what we're using as his mini desk.
As his mini desk.
Literally. It's a box full of bags.
We're trying to figure out how to do like a behind-the-scenes camera.
Well, I did just figure out today that you can remotely connect a GoPro via Wi-Fi because right now our 5 inputs are full. So I'm going to have a second remote cam and probably do a GoPro behind-the-scenes angle for next week.
So, but
or
if
2
you could
weeks from
see
now.
where Dan is now, he looks like he's homeless.
We have a very ghetto setup right now. It's not great. There's wires everywhere. It's a mess.
Yeah, we plan on getting longer wires.
Yep,
and
we already
all of
ordered
that.
them.
Yep.
They've been ordered. So, all right, let's get on to the Raw Talkie stuff because,
Let's do
as
it.
you know, last show that we did, I mentioned that we're going to do more of a discussion type thing when it comes to Raw Talk, talking about what we're doing, what we're shooting. I'm going to be splitting out Flying Solo into its own separate thing, which is part of using this live boxes. So we'll be able to do Flying Solo that way. Maybe have people dial in through the Skype line because we can send a link out, which would then record them right inside of the box. I'm not going to do those live,
gonna
but
say, are
I
you doing
will.
live?
I
Yeah.
will record those and then put those up because I want to still do Flying Solo. They were great in the show, and I think that they should continue on and stand on their own. So we're going to talk about all the different things we're doing, and I love this format because it's 3 people having a discussion about photo, about creative, about whatever the hell it is that we really want to talk about. So the first things that I want to talk about is that I was back in LA last week.
Again,
3rd time in a couple of months.
I feel like in like a month.
You're super
It wasn't-
Hollywood.
it
now.
wasn't- it
He's
wasn't 1
the
month.
past
super
2 months, I
duper
feel like
Hollywood.
you've been there every other week.
Well, we went
almost.
there for the Canon event.
Yep.
We went there. I went there for I forget.
Kirkland interview. Oh, that was the same week.
Kirkland
and then you
interview-
went back.
and then I just went back. Oh yeah, no, that
You
was
went-
the same week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I forget the one before that.
There was something before that too.
There was something before that.
I
Somebody
think
else-
It was
What about the Canon thing? You were out there for the Canon
Stefan.
thing.
Was that the same week as the cat? No, that was the second time, and then the YouTube event this time. So that
well,
was 3
no,
times.
Stefan was the same as this was. Stefan was the same as the Kirkland because it was the day after Kirkland.
wow,
it
you
was
really
Thursday and
jammed that
Friday.
week, man.
Well, that
That was
time we
packed.
had the Canon thing. Followed by the Kirkland. Oh no, the Canon thing was before that, wasn't it? Yeah. So it was the Canon thing. That, I
lost
got
me.
it. I got it now. It was the Canon event. We did that, and then I shot Maddie, I believe, for my project.
it, yeah.
And then the next time we went to the Funny or Die event, which we got paid
Yes,
to do.
yes, yes.
Then I shot Stefan, and then I just went back again. And what I did is I hand delivered Stefan his book. But this is where, am I talking about the personal project here, or do I save it for down here?
Wherever you want to talk about it.
Well, I'll talk about it now, I guess. So I've been telling you, or you guys have known, that I've been doing a personal project, a personal photo project. It's something that I've wanted to do for 10 years that involves spending a day in the life of people. I call this one 6 Degrees because it starts with a person, and then they get to tell me where I'm going next, and that person gets to tell me where I'm going next, so on and so forth. And I won't stop at 6 Degrees. I can't stop at 6. I'll keep
Never
it going.
stop.
And I'll
Can't
also
stop, won't
split
stop.
out multiple different angles if I need to at some point. But the idea is that you work with athletes, musicians, tech visionaries, actors, actresses, all different types of people that are interesting. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to do other personal stories because I believe on Saturday I may be posting a really emotional photo story.
That's gonna be this week.
Powerful.
I think I'm going to do that because that is a photo story that's not part of the 6 Degrees project, but is a photo story, and that is going to be a super powerful story.
Hits you hard.
It's called The Last Portrait. I'll just tell you that's what it's called right now, and it's a photo story of my friend Artie, and yeah, you'll get to see the
It's
rest
a
of
must.
it.
You have to watch it.
Yeah.
You have
It's
to
about
watch
15
it.
minutes long. It's going to be a tremendous
I think it is.
watch.
I think it's the best thing we've ever filmed.
Well, I watched it last night with somebody, and they said it was the
It's
fastest,
so powerful.
the quickest 15 minutes of their life. That was the first time they saw it.
Yeah.
So when you do watch it, all I'll ask is that you give it a share somewhere so that more people see it, because it's going to resonate with everybody.
Yes, I
everybody's
agree.
been touched by something that's been in. Well, we've all been touched by
This will
something.
probably be the most emotional
Including
video
Todd.
project you guys have ever put out.
Yeah.
In terms of how emotion and people and photography all interconnect. So
Yeah, it's probably
set your watch.
probably along the same vein as my mother's one that I did, but not as put together into an actual package.
Right.
So this is an actual package. So what was I doing in LA this time? I went for a YouTube event.
You certainly didn't go for a suntan.
What's that look like to you, Tom?
Farmer's
hold
tan,
on, it
that's
looks
what it
like
looks
this.
like.
So I got asked to go back out. As soon as I got back from LA the last time, I had an email saying, "Hey, would you like to come out in a week or two to LA to go to the YouTube space?" And what it was, no, it wasn't YouTube space. It was actually the Google offices. They brought in 6 different YouTube channels, and they had us
Just 6.
They had us learning from the head of PR, the high ups in PR, about how to be on an interview, meaning people interviewing you for whatever reason. Now, we don't know where it's going to go. I think I have an idea of what I think is going to happen, but it was very good. I went in with an open mind for once, knowing that learning from these people, these head of PRs that teach the CEOs or train them or coach them on what to do in the interviews and make sure that they're well educated and well informed so that they have answers to everything they need to have answers to, and that they don't bring up the negative stuff, or if somebody tries to challenge you with misinformation, you correct them. That's all right to correct them. You should correct them so you get the correct information out there. But if you know how you repeat the question when somebody asks a question?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, so how did I get started? Well, if they ask, like, what do you think about ISIS? You kind of don't say, well, here's what I think about ISIS. You just go more into the...
You don't answer the question.
No, it's not that you don't answer. You just go, well, you know, there's all different types of people out there, and so it's all dependent upon this and that and other. So you don't bring up the negative. You don't repeat the negative,
Sure.
because then you're putting words in somebody's mouth. Hey, somebody just made a purchase from the sale. I mean, it must have happened
'cause
live.
We're live.
What?
Store.fronosphoto.com.
amazing.
But anyway, thank you. I would love to watch the comments, but I can't. Hey, Dan, how many people are watching? Not that I should be asking. All right. Keep sharing it out if you're watching live, but I don't want to interact too much in the live space. The other thing that I did was deliver Stefan his book, which I didn't transfer to
So his name's actually
the video.
Stefan.
Yeah, it's fine.
His name's Stefan.
Because that's what I used to call Steven all the time.
Oh, I've had every single teacher call me Stefan.
His name is
'Cause it's PH.
His name is Stefan, but he's like James Blunt always calls him Stefan. So this
That's
is the
way
book.
cooler.
Because it's A-N, right?
Yeah,
P-H-A-N?
Stephan. Now this is a hardback book from Adorama Picks.
Beautiful book.
This is a 100-page book. It's max.
Wow.
It's the max largest size book that you can do.
How much something like that cost?
It's I believe it's like 240, 250.
So
it's not bad.
If you were a wedding photographer, though, how much would you sell that for to your client?
It's a $500-600 book, maybe even
Yeah.
more.
I would
Look,
say even
when
more.
I did wedding albums before stuff like this existed, I was charging
Usually it's like $1,000. I thought.
$1,200 to
Yeah.
$1,500 for the first book,
Yeah.
and then $800 to $900 for each additional book, because all you do is, well, it's not all you do is hit print.
Or
That's
smaller.
not true. No. When we did it, you had to order individual prints, you had to order mats, you had to get the stickers, you had to slide the stickers into the freaking book, you had to build the album.
Oh, there was
Oh,
manual
wow.
labor involved.
It was the
in
old
that.
school, right? So
Gotcha.
that's why it was so expensive. Though this is worth $1,500. It was like 260 maybe. I have to double check, but it's the maxed out hardback book. And I handed this to him, and on the Facebook page, I uploaded, and I think I did it on YouTube
did.
too. We called it Raw Reveal, where
Raw reaction.
Raw
Yeah,
reaction.
raw reaction, yeah.
You get to see his raw reaction. I took my iPhone and I shot it. It wasn't anything special, but I wanted to hear what he had to say. And one of the best things that he said was, my mom would love this. You know, that his mom would
great.
love to get a copy of this.
Nice.
But this book, this is a tremendous. Let me find
Pictures
Dan,
look
can we
great,
pop up
man.
some of the pictures from this, please?
Pictures look really,
The pictures
really
from
good.
this are fantastic. So whatever order you have them in. So what's cool about this photo is the fact that Steven doesn't like this photo. He doesn't agree with me.
Well, I think it's a great
back to the
photo
first
for the
one. Stay on that.
photographer.
Well, it's in focus, right? That's probably why he doesn't
funny.
like it.
No, I think it's a great one for the photographer, but I don't love it for a client picture personally.
Oh. I
And
see what you're saying.
so where I like it is the fact that I took it like this on purpose. I took it like this.
Well, you always usually take a picture like this, right?
Well, I usually do it in mirrors.
Yeah.
But
So-
I think that I'm more than just a photographer, not to sound arrogant, not to sound self-centered.
look at you.
I look at
I'm special.
I look at myself as special when it comes to
Because that to me is more of a self-portrait.
Well, and being that I've become friends with Stefan, I think it means a lot.
Yeah.
And so that's what I like. You can keep going to some of the other photos. What's cool about the project is, well, I love this shot too because we were sitting there waiting to eat lunch, and he sat in this chair and he just got done a little while ago telling me about the pianos. How he has three or maybe it's more than three loves of his life, but it's his wife and his two pianos.
Is wine in there?
And well, I don't know if wine was in
He
there.
loves
but
his wine.
He loves his
Yeah.
pianos. They're like his children too.
Sure,
So
yeah.
I saw this happen and I'm like, yeah, right there. I was getting ready for lunch, but I had my camera next to me and I popped that image off because the pianos were out of focus in the background with him in the foreground.
Yeah, that's great.
And I love that. Let's cycle through the
I
rest.
love the warm and cold mixed lighting too throughout the studio that he's got there.
And later in the day, he wanted to go outside. Oh, and if you're listening to the podcast, you have to go look for the photos.
Yeah.
He wanted to roll his piano outside, so he did. And I was just using the 105. Now you may be
Just for the pictures. he
just
wanted
for
to
these
do that.
pictures.
Gotcha.
You may be wondering why I cut off the top of his head because there were these metal, bright silver door hinges
remember,
in
yeah.
the back that I tried to block as best as possible.
To me, it's more of a cinematic, creative portrait, though. I don't mind the
I love
cutoff
this portrait.
of the head at all.
I love
Yeah.
this portrait, and I love the fact that the piano's there in the
Yeah, I
background.
don't mind a little bit of a haircut.
I don't either, especially
it's
when you
out
got
of
a lot
Now
of
when you
hair
got
like
big
that.
hair.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's the piano's out of focus in the background. Keep going, Dan, for me. And this is Hudson Thames. He's got a song. Look him up. He got a couple songs. Look him up on Spotify. This is later in the night. Wine was being drunk. After dinner, wine comes out.
Sure.
And everybody's-
Lucky.
And before dinner and all day.
Oh, geez. I was just thinking cameras don't
Similar
need to be
the last
reset.
face,
No
Raw Dog
cameras
Live.
reset this time. Everything's just rolling.
And so you have Stefan, you have this, I believe it's Wolfgang. He's a writer, and then you've got
Wolfgang.
You've got that's what his Instagram is or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you've got Hudson back there. They're singing a song that I can't wait to hear final.
Oh, yeah?
It is such
Will this take years to come out?
maybe I listened to when I
'Cause-
was there just listening to it. It is such a pop
Anthem?
pop anthem. It's not even funny. It's so catchy. And that's the thing with music. There are so many catchy songs out there, but not everybody ever hears them.
Yeah.
Because they don't get out there. So you could have the greatest song in the world.
It's quite amazing too that when we were there together, I was just sitting there waiting for my flight, and we heard one of the songs that isn't released yet, and we were talking to them about like how long it took to actually record
Maddie's?
that Maddie's song. Yeah, and they said it was recorded
She
3
was
years
17.
ago.
She's now 20.
And she's now
Wow.
20, and it still hasn't been released to the public. It makes you realize how much effort and work goes into polishing and perfecting a song.
And that song was done with a 52-piece orchestra.
And they're still working on
That
it.
is
right?
Can
such
you
a-
imagine if Jared was producing that? Why isn't this done yet? This is taking way too much time. Can we live cut this?
Oh, live cut this, right. I was just trying to figure out what the hell Todd was saying. So
But he's got a beautiful studio.
So the
and
studio's
great
awesome.
guy.
I love Stefan, and the way that the project works is Stefan's actually the fifth degree in the first line.
Yeah.
I have some secondary lines which haven't gone very far yet, but the
First line's almost done though at this point.
Well, it's done by the sense that I've gone almost
6.
to 6, but I'm going to continue going in that line.
Sure.
I'm not ending it because I'm not going to cut it off. But the funny thing is that Funny or Die one, which was a secondary one, which didn't lead to another shoot just yet, because that one was going to connect me with Joe Biden, who's not really doing very much right now in
That
ways
would be
of
a big effing deal.
in PR. But I'm going to keep following up. I did get to Biden's people through this connection. This one's it was a little more difficult because he's keeping a low profile.
It did lead to work though.
It did
A
lead
paying
to
gig.
another job. Well, and the second degree in this first line led to a book cover
Oh,
for
yeah.
Lewis
Yeah.
House's book cover.
That's a great
Now,
cover.
if I knew that, I would have had Dan throw that up if we had production or something.
Great pre-production.
But I didn't know I
great
don't
job,
know what
man.
I'm going to talk
Great
about.
job.
So if you go look up on Amazon, Lewis Howes, The Mask of Masculinity, that's going to show you. That's going to be the book cover.
However, you can cut to Todd's laptop, and he could always go on Amazon, but
in the
that's not
future.
going to happen.
Because we don't know what's on Todd's web.
Yeah,
history.
right now you don't want to
Todd's
cut to
history
that.
will be funny. It'll be like
Yeah,
Amazon.
you can look. You
Amazing
can look at my
women-
laptop. It's just a soundboard right now. But
Yeah.
Women of Amazon.
in the future,
But in the
if you
future-
give me a little bit of a heads up, I can pull stuff.
I didn't
up.
even think about it. I didn't even think
Or
about
if you just
it.
paid attention to the show, you could think ahead and start
about
typing
pay
it in.
attention about what?
What?
And so what's cool is Stefan has already made the next connection with a woman that's huge in the music world.
That you're going to next.
Well, he made the connection.
Oh wait, you told me about this one.
Yeah,
right?
I have to email. I emailed her. Now she's very busy. I have to. We tried to set. I set an extra couple of days in LA just in case the connection could happen.
Okay.
But it wasn't able to. So anyway, here's the book. On the back, you have a back cover thing that I did. I put the photo, and then on the spine, I put his fingers. Now on the piano.
So wait,
it's
the
not
back
perfect.
is that
cool.
half of him from that? One?
No. This was actually half of a photo.
That's
that
what I
I
mean.
did. No.
Okay.
I did it in that composition. So it's missing more over here.
So it was a horizontal.
It was a
picture.
horizontal
Gotcha.
shot. Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's my personal project, and there is no video gonna happen. Well, there's no video of me doing the shoots because they're intimate shoots. People open up, they talk, they feel comfortable.
I think you focus way more too when it's not like me. You don't have to perform on camera when I'm not following you around.
Yeah,
you
I
can
just
just
you don't,
shoot
and
you
you don't
and
distract
shoot.
the client or
Exactly.
the talent or whatever you want to call
Well,
it.
what's funny though is that when we were shooting there, again, I was there for that one day. Your D5 is just like a while they're like trying to talk about music, and you just hear it in the background. That's where a mirrorless camera would be.
yeah.
Clutch.
In a studio, an A9 would be great.
Yeah, just silent.
If Sony would,
Oh, yeah.
They wouldn't
send
know
me
you were
something.
shooting.
No, they wouldn't
that
know I'm
would be
shooting.
nice.
That thing would be tremendous.
Yeah.
But then the other thing with Stefan is that the next day, I ended up spending more than a day with him. James Blunt came into the studio, and that led to some really great opportunities as well. But we'll save that for the final stories, which I'm planning on creating some kind of series around it that involves video of the photos. Yes? James Blunt on the thank you, Dan.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So that's James Blunt. This is shot through plexiglass. Can you go back to the photo where it's a wide angle of it's Stefan on the right in black and white? Nope, there's another one in there. He's black and white, and then there's a girl singing on the left. Yeah, that one. So as you can see, that these are both
I love
silent
that.
rooms.
That's really cool.
The doors are open this time because they even though they were recording, it wasn't that big of a deal to hear the shutter because it was just a rough vocal track. But the James Blunt photo that Dan just had up that he's going to get back up there again is shooting where Stefan was sitting through the glass.
Yeah.
And so
you were all the way up against the window, right?
no, I was standing back.
No polarizer, nothing, right?
No, this is more like a plexi window. Well, actually, I don't even know what kind of window it is. Probably double thick, multiple thickness because of silence, because they're live recording
yeah,
rooms.
soundproof.
But I love these shots that I was able to capture of
I love
James
the one
Blunt.
that's, I don't think Dan has this one, but it's the profile one of James Blunt singing into the microphone.
Yeah.
That one's
I didn't
awesome
throw
picture.
that one in there.
Yeah.
So that's my personal project right now. I'm really focusing a lot on that, which is good, which led me to, when I was in LA, to give Steven the opportunity to do a photo news fix.
Oh yeah,
How'd that work out
I
for
took
you?
over for the fix. I mean, you wrote the script.
I did.
which you do every week, and I think you should continue doing that.
My favorite comments. These jokes are so much better than Jared's.
Well, I will say we tweaked them to a certain extent.
Sure.
Made them better
And we made them 1,000 times
made
better.
them better, as well as Steven made them wetter. But it was a give and a take. So
Yeah, I mean, we went over it. There's a couple things we finessed in the script, but I mean, for the most part, as usual, we kept it how you wrote it. And
Yeah,
then
I write these damn things.
It's just dangerous when Todd and I are down there goofing around trying to record.
That was funny, dude.
Because there's a couple
That was
times
so funny.
where
What
we
were
just
we
kept
talking
laughing.
about? Oh, you were talking about the DNA.
The
And we were
DNA.
questioning is like our photo news fix people going to get the jokes because it's like a raw
it's more
talk
of a raw
joke.
talk thing.
Well, it could
and
become
all that
something
stuff,
new.
So yeah.
Yeah, and there was definitely a part where we were laughing for like 2 minutes straight, and I had to like keep my
Yeah.
composure and record.
Like,
but I will
we
say,
had to like take deep breaths for a minute. Like, all right, hold on.
yep. Now, reading a teleprompter for the first time for me was tough because I felt like it didn't scroll fast enough. Because what we do is we control it via just our foot.
A foot pedal.
It's a foot pedal. And it just kept lagging, and that would really screw me up. So I had to get in a
Well,
certain
you just have
rhythm.
to hit
and
the
then,
button a couple times.
Yeah, but again, it's my first time doing it. So I just had to get in a certain pace and figure out where the actual speed should be. And
Well,
it worked out in the end.
And I don't think you realize how often Jared actually stops and starts it.
He did
At this point, like
That too.
And watching the other day, I was like, oh, he actually stops it. Like he probably keeps it faster,
Yep.
and then can stop it.
I definitely kept it going until so there are certain parts
Yeah.
where I would try and like speed up my talking to
Well,
get the whole thing in.
Yeah, it becomes a dance now.
It is a dance.
Steven was telling me that his his calf or something was getting
Yeah.
a
I had like a
cramp.
shin splint almost.
But the thing is, you don't keep your foot up. You just put your foot on your toe on the edge of the pedal. When you want it to go, you just press it all the way down. You leave your foot
And
on
that
it.
just keeps the
and then
teleprompter going.
Then you gently remove your foot and press back down to stop it.
Yeah.
There's times where I'm reading where I know I'm going to take a little longer and my foot will stop it. It's a mental thing because you have to continue to read while stopping it and then be able to keep doing it and then start it again.
Yeah. Now the hard part was I was on an Apple box because we had to adjust the
You're too
frame.
short, right.
'Cause he's
Well, no,
super short.
because your hair
Yeah,
is like a
he's
foot.
tiny.
So I had to adjust the frame and bring it down, and I stepped back. So I had to be on an Apple box to keep that same frame for the most part.
Oh, right,
And that's
right,
where
right.
the foot pedal barely fit.
Well, after we were done, we should have been like, why did we put another Apple box under the
Yeah,
foot pedal?
stupid.
Because we're dumb.
But yeah, I mean, it went well. So I don't know. I guess when you're away, I'll fill in on occasion.
Well, or even if I'm not away, we may just
sure.
This guy.
change
Whenever.
it up.
This guy right
Todd
here.
might, but I doubt
Well,
he will. 'cause he
we can test
can't be
Todd out.
serious.
We can see how that is.
If I do it, I want to put on like a small I Shoot Raw shirt, bring the fro in, and I want to do it like Tiny You.
No, we need it to be serious.
Tiny
'Cause-
you.
Because you're so serious.
Well, no, we want it to be, real photo news, Todd.
I know.
Want to be legit.
I'm telling you,
Respect it.
if I do it like that, I promise another Care Bear joke. Even though you mean gummy bears.
I meant gummy bears.
Oh, we didn't even say that.
I meant gummy
Jared
bears.
usually puts like in the script like insert this joke
Here
or
and
something.
there and bouncing everywhere and everywhere, not Care Bears.
But he in the script he wrote insert the Care Bears thing,
Yeah.
and he puts this song, and it's actually the Gummy Bears theme
Well,
song.
Steven and
not
I were
the
talking
Care
about it. I
Bears.
was like, gummy bears was definitely superior to
So I
Care
was looking
Bears.
that up on YouTube for like 20 minutes. I'm like, what is he talking about? And then that's when Dan was like, that's the Gummy Bears theme song. I'm
I
like,
screwed that.
no idea.
I screwed that one up when I wrote that.
Yeah, thank
fix.
God Dan was here.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's Stephen filled in on that. I think he did a great job.
Thank you.
And I think we're going to cycle through because the point is, I want other personalities on the channel because I want to
Yeah.
be able to reach more people, but also have other personalities that may not be the same as mine, of course, and have different opinions, which are not the same as mine, of course.
You'll
but
love that.
That also-
although those opinions don't count.
right. But the other
Fake opinions.
The other thing to talk about is that with having this live editing box, it brings up the opportunity, and I brought it up to Steven and Todd, where Steven can have his own style of an episode of a show for something, or Todd can have his own educational type thing. But also, I think that if Raw Talk continues to be every other week, then maybe the weeks in between, we can have some kind of video kind of talk with Steven and Todd, where they're both sitting around here, and that's their show, maybe a 20-ish minute show where there's some educational stuff, there's some Q&A stuff, but it ventures into the video side of it.
Yeah. It'd be
I think
a
editing
video
as
version
well.
of Raw
I think
Talk.
video and editing we could dabble in.
Yep.
For sure.
We actually already have a couple ideas for the premiere episode.
Yeah.
Which I don't know when that will happen, or
And I don't
if
know
it'll
what we
definitely
would
happen.
call it either. I think that's the big thing.
The biggest thing is, I mean, you guys have recommendations? Any?
Yeah, give us recommendations as to what you would call a show between me and Steven talking about video and editing, and do not answer what we've always called it.
But yeah, definitely, obviously, video centric. We want to keep it video related, editing related.
Yep.
Yep. Play on words type thing for the title, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Something better than Jared would come up with. Not about Care Bears.
Yeah, no, I come
Bears.
up with really good titles to things, Todd. Thank you very much.
Best thumbnails too.
Yeah,
The
speaking
worst.
of thumbnails, we'll talk about that show more another time, but
Yeah.
we'll obviously let you know when that's happening. Thumbnails, have you noticed thumbnail differences on the YouTube?
I have.
Yeah. Todd's been doing some thumbnails for us. Take a bow, Todd. Take a bow.
Take a bow, Frank. Thank you.
That's right. Thumbnail Frank. Just something a little different to try
Taking
and
a
be
bite out of the art world.
try to be more consistent, try to be more catchy. The whole point is to be more clickbait. The more clickbait you have, the better.
clickbait.
Yeah, for sure.
For
Faux show.
You know what's funny? The last photo news fix was called Canon $12,000 lens destroyed.
Yeah. The 85, right? Wasn't it
Well,
like...
no, at the end, the third. So it was. So here's what the title was close to: Canon $12,000 lens destroyed. Lexar bought by Lexar sold, and then it was like cheap 85 1.2.
Which technically they're all true.
That's true.
Yeah.
So somebody
Clickbait.
left a comment. Somebody left a comment. I missed what he said. Somebody left a comment on the Facebook part that was like, Shame on you. This is misleading.
Shame.
This title's
Shame.
Shame.
Get naked. Shame.
Yes, please. This title was misleading, and I'm like, well, you know what? Get over it. Raw Talk is fun and informative. It says 85 cheap 85 1.2.
I thought
there's
it was
a joke,
funny, yeah.
and yes, it's a cheap 85 1.2 because it's not a real lens.
It's a coaster.
lens coaster that
And it
looks
is-
like an 85 1.2.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's not false. You just are sour that you didn't get to buy it. You're too cheap to buy a lens.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Cheap
whoa,
ass.
whoa,
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 hey,
whoa,
whoa,
hey,
whoa.
whoa.
Cut the live stream.
whoa.
Cut it.
Get the scissors. Get the scissors.
Cut the red line.
No, it's purple.
Or actually, it's purple.
It's
in
a
our case.
100
a giant purple LAN cable.
I bought the purple. I chose to buy purple.
Does it matter?
It's not
how
really
long your
purple though.
LAN
I think
cable
it's
is?
like off
No.
blue. Did you get it from the same?
From who?
It's like your chair.
Did you get it from the chair place?
from
'Cause
Herman
It's not
Miller.
really purple.
No, I didn't get that one from Herman Miller.
Hopefully, we're still streaming.
We're still streaming. Dan gives us the thumbs up.
All right.
So let's move on from there and talk about what Steven was photographing. Was I away when you were doing this? Do
No.
you have that time?
Yes, you were. It was Friday.
To listen to me whine about nothing and everything that I want. I am one of those. Dookie.
Remember, we can't add nice, pretty reverb on your voice when it's live.
Oh, well, you can do that later.
If I'm going to do it later.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Shit,
Shit,
actually,
I
it was
need
Friday.
to get an auto-tune thing.
It was Thursday or Friday, and I shot Green Day.
It's
Jared's
Friday, Friday.
Nope.
Get your money
Nope.
on Friday.
Nope.
Everybody's waiting for the weekend. It's
been a while since he's done this.
He's so happy that we're live streaming. He's so
That's
happy
great.
that he's gonna cut like 2 days of editing out.
Rebecca Black.
Yeah.
Everybody, Rebecca Black. All right, go ahead.
But it was Thursday or Friday when you were away. Your favorite band, Green Day, I photographed, which I went in the pit.
Not my
and
favorite
by the
band.
way, like 20 freaking photographers in this pit that's very tiny at the BB&T Pavilion.
Well, you know, dude, I've got
show them yet.
GreenDayLovers.com blog.
Well, it's a little too late now. But so I took this specific photo. This was the last picture I took. And by the way, I took this on an 8mm circular fisheye.
Look at you.
Literally, we're leaving the pit, and I snapped this photo like right when
Were
they're
they
about
kicking
to
you out?
right when they're about to kick us out. Like people started to leave, but they didn't actually say get out yet. And he does this move, and I get perfectly center, get the shot, and peace out. I wanted to show
That's a
more
dope
pictures
shot.
actually on the live stream,
Yeah.
but the way vertical pictures show up on here
We'll just
are
have
very
to edit
weird.
it next time.
Yeah, we gotta figure it out.
But they do this cool thing where they bring a fan up on stage within the first two songs of. All right, calm down. No live cutting for Jared.
I was getting him to get off of that.
Within the first two songs, they bring a fan up on stage, usually like a young kid, and they sing with him. I mean, it's got to be such a
Really? Like
thrilling
how young?
experience.
What'd the kid sing?
The kid was probably 10.
Nice.
I
That
wish
was
I had
fun
the
to
pictures
watch.
to show,
Was
but
he
I don't
good?
have them right now. I mean, I had earplugs in, so I couldn't hear it at all.
I'd
like when they
I
bring
would've
up
booed him.
guitars.
I would have booed him like Siler.
The best part, like
You mean
Sawyer.
Sawyer?
Sawyer, he's taking a bite out of Green Day. Shut up, Sawyer! Shut your pie hole!
The coolest part, though, is that he got to stage dive into the crowd
Oh,
right
yeah?
after.
What?
So they brought him up on stage. He sang,
No,
rocked
did
out.
he throw him into the like?
I mean, the kid literally took a running start
He
from
had
the
to, because
end of
the pit-
stage. The pit's like almost 10 feet wide.
Imagine if he cracked
He
his
probably bounced
knees.
off the crowd. He was so light. They're like, wee.
Oh, dude, he was like Dan. He was real
Yeah.
small and skinny. But
It was Dan, actually. That's weird.
they had like 10 different security people in the pit just in case, I guess, he didn't make it.
Oh,
And they would have
cool.
just caught him and threw him
Wow.
over. But
Throw him over.
But they only give you 2 songs for Green Day. Only 2 songs,
Whatever.
but
And-
that second song's a little longer because they bring the kid up on stage. It was a
Oh,
cool experience.
that's
I
cool.
also shot
That is
Catfish
cool.
and the Bottlemen, which are fun to shoot.
Are they?
But not easy to shoot.
Well, the whole thing
Great
is,
stage
you said there
presence.
were like 20 people in the pit. You said that a lot of so what's interesting is generally these bands from the 90s like don't allow a lot of people in the pit because you've got
They're very old school usually.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh.
But you think that their fan base is back to 15-year-olds.
I think
again.
Green Day is quite the opposite now, where a lot of their original fan base, I think, don't listen to them anymore
Don't
because
wanna be an American
Nope.
idiot.
Nope.
I think their music this time around is now closer to pop music. So a lot of the people I see when I go to Green Day shows, this is the third time I shot them within 3 years, is always like 15-year-olds, especially at the front of the crowd.
Super angsty.
So I think what they're doing is now anyone with a blog or something, a fan website or something, they get approved and they get to shoot the show because you can tell there was a lot more fans in the
Hello?
pit than actual photographers.
So they're tween day.
Or I should say, paid photographers for a job.
What?
I should say that.
Hi, I just picked up my first camera. I have a Rebel XT2. I'm looking to shoot Green Day. They're my favorite band.
All right, I'm looking on the list here. Are you from tweenday.com?
Yes, tweenday.com.
All right. Yeah,
yes.
bring it in. I'm going to have to frisk you first.
Yes,
oh, wait.
please.
I am not allowed to do that
Tween Day.
anymore. Sorry.
It's okay. You could touch me all you want. Check my bag. And so I'm here to shoot Green Day from the pit. I've never shot a show before, but I'm really thankful for this opportunity.
All right, well, the only thing we ask you to do is make sure you put on these little booties so you don't slip in the sweat. There's some sweaty photographers down there.
Is his name Steven?
No, it's Stefan. Sorry.
Oh, Stefan. I think I've seen him before. Is he the guy with the stains?
Yes, he's
Dan, cut to my angle real quick.
Yeah, he's changed shirts
this goes
4
to
times.
these guys right here.
He's already changed
Whoa,
4
whoa, whoa.
times.
Oh, live sensor.
Whoa! Cut
Hey,
the line!
Cut the
Cut
purple.
the line!
It's blue. It's a blue line.
No, cut the purple line.
Oh.
So was it good? Was it fun or no?
I mean, it was a fun experience. Great lighting for once. Green Day usually has terrible lighting because they're more of a punk band, even though they're not anymore.
Charlie Gluten, shut up!
Hey, man.
But yeah, I mean, it was fun. I got some good shots out of it in the end, and they did make you sign a release form, which was your standard release.
You know,
Nothing
did,
special.
Do they ever read that form?
That's what I wonder.
Who was it? Was it my girl?
No.
Have you
No,
seen
she
her
wasn't-
lately?
Well, she's the one that usually approves a lot of my passes, but she was not there.
Yeah, because I should send her an email. I haven't talked to her in like
she
3 years.
despises Jared. The
Oh,
girl
she
we're talking
despise.
about.
Oh, I want to. Can we
She hates
interview her?
And I have no idea why.
I have no idea why. I've never
But-
hit on her.
I
She,
mean, come
like,
on now.
hates
Let's- I mean, there's a few. I could throw out multiple reasons why she probably hates you. Overly aggressive, trying to get passes.
No, passive aggressive, trying to get passive. Yeah. No, you don't know what you're
Passive-aggressive.
doing. Yeah, no, it's okay. I have a photo blog. Yeah, no, my people still have ears. They still listen to music. And I have a bigger site and reach than most, than Tween Day has. So you should probably let me in. And she's like, no.
Basically, hashtag. Do you know who I am?
Yes. Hashtag, do you know who I am? Speaking
That's
of
the hashtag at the end.
Speaking of hashtags, do you know who I am? Last week I heard that something popped up on your screen when they cut to the feed of your desktop.
Oh well, I had.
Oh yeah.
Well, I had things for. Well, Steve was like, you better, clean up your desktop.
I said to clean it just in case.
I was like, I don't care. I
didn't know what you had on
I was
there.
like, it's Jared stuff. It's Greenpeace, which I've talked about before.
Yeah.
And it's Adultland stuff. And I didn't even think about it. And immediately somebody was like, so what's Adultland? Well, I was like, oh, I guess I probably shouldn't have put that up there. So I've got, it was stuff for my movie that I'm currently in pre-production and we're casting on. We're probably going to shoot in March
oh.
of in Atlanta. But,
So talk about the screens that are up on the screen.
oh. Gotcha. Sorry, I'm getting yelled at for getting the mouse off the player, but it's about a guy that works at a porn shop and is looking for love, and then we'll see what happens. But that's what's going on.
A guy that works at a porn shop.
Not me.
Is
Is this also maybe based on a true
It's
story?
based on a best friend of mine worked at a porn shop for like 10 years.
Very cool.
So it's I don't really want to say too much about it, but you know what? If you want to follow at Adultland Movie, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff, you can. When things come available, I'll let you know. But we're very, very close to signing somebody on as the lead.
Legit, right?
Legit.
Yeah.
We actually have to work with Marvel Studios to to
Wow.
figure out the scheduling of this person.
And
that's
this has been
that's all I'll say.
This has been quite some time in the making, right?
I probably have written this and retweaked this for 5 years at least. I
Wow.
bet.
My favorite line that you added is, I'm going to bleep, 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 bleep.
That gives away so much.
I mean, that's the key plot line right there. I mean,
So-
that you just spoiler, hashtag spoilers.
So I've read
You gave it all away.
I've read the script, and I even started to read it out loud to Maddie. She
Oh,
wanted me to
God.
read
Sorry.
it to her. No, she
Sorry.
liked it. She was laughing.
Is this?
I mean, it's definitely a dark comedy. It's a hard R, but it's very
And not
drama-
just because he works in a porn shop.
it's dramatic. There's some heavy shit that happens in it, but
It's a modern day romantic comedy
it's definitely not that. But even though
starring Moonbeam.
Moonbeam.
No, it's not. You should have left the gate on. Anyway, that's all. So follow that stuff in. If anything pops off anytime soon, you'll be the first to know.
And so when that does go into production, I'm sure that we'll go to wherever it's being produced to do some stuff, some behind the scenes shooting, some content, and you guys will maybe we'll do a private a private screening in Philly.
Yeah, and
at your friend's movie theater.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and I was also considering, if as things progress, maybe I will do some sort of vlog like along the course of like
He won't.
what really happens pre-production wise in terms of some of this stuff.
Well,
but
would you have like a BTS shooter or something? Like, is it in the budget for something like that?
I was definitely. I
'Cause that would be-
definitely want.
obviously
I
you
definitely
can't.
want to capture
Todd,
a lot of
Kenny
this stuff.
does not count. Kenny does not. Kenny doesn't
Kenny
count.
crushes.
You can't really vlog, but because you're going to be directing, obviously.
Well, yeah.
So a BTS shooter is definitely
Yeah,
needed
I mean,
for something like
I do
that.
know we've got budget for a photographer, an on-set photographer.
Not
but
enough
not me.
money.
BTS. Well, your shots are definitely better, so I'd probably go you.
Crushed it.
But we'll see. Yeah, follow that stuff and we'll see what happens.
So maybe Todd could do a show on the channel and do a behind the scenes of that.
Probably won't happen, but yeah.
No, never, never.
Definitely won't happen. But no, I've read the script. It's funny. I can't wait to see it to actually come to fruition. So why don't we move and talk about some of the bigger news stories that happened from the week or the last couple of weeks. And one of the things that happened yesterday is that we did the Photo News Fix, and we talked about Lexar being purchased by Longsys, a Chinese company
Which
that
I've never
is-
heard of, by the way.
Well, nobody's ever heard of them. They've been around for 18 years making consumer flash products.
Which means they're legal, though.
It says they sell 100 million consumer flash-based products a year.
I guess that's
So-
what it says. But then what they
big
bought,
number.
they didn't buy Lexar. They bought the name, they bought the trademark, and they bought the branding. And so that always worries me because and somebody left a comment that I was wrong about Kodak and Polaroid making subpar products. Well, I'm not wrong. They make subpar products today.
If you compare it to the golden days, the heyday.
But they're not making anything that they used to make. Polaroid's putting out shitty TVs.
Well, and they have that, like, square
stupid cube
thing.
You know, the zinc printer, the Z ink printer, which is stupid and horrible. And this segment's brought to you by Polaroid. Polaroid has
Thank you, guys.
no, not really.
But Kodak obviously is a completely different company now too. It's the same
they
thing
try
that
to
happened.
make phones.
Yeah, well, remember the one phone we saw at, was it Photo Plus
They
or
tried-
maybe Photokina?
It was Photokina. I think they
They had a little
tried.
Kodak booth.
They tried telling us, maybe it was CES or something.
Might have been CES,
But they
yeah.
tried selling us on the fact that, well, it's for adults. It's for older people who may not know
For
how to
senior
use an
citizens.
iPhone. I'm like, look, my dad can use an iPhone
My
for the
parents
most
can
part.
too.
Then your stupid Kodak phone is not going to work.
My mom, who doesn't even know how to barely use a laptop, can use the iPhone.
Oh, my
easily.
mom is on fire on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
checks
all
in
over it now.
everywhere.
Will you tell her to stop posting selfies and duck face?
Don't you ever talk about my mama. Don't you talk about my mama.
Mrs. Wolf.
She'll check in at the and I'm in the bathroom. She checked into the bathroom. I checked into the line at Wise Markets. I checked in here. She checks in
I
everywhere.
hope she's watching right now.
Is Woody Wolf watching? Is Woody Wolf watching? Todd's dad.
He might be.
We should have him on as a special musical guest.
No.
Oh, the Woody Wolf Band, right?
The Woody-
Oh no,
yeah.
isn't it the Todd Wolf Band?
No, there is a Todd Wolf band. That is
If you
not
Google
me.
Todd Wolf, that's like the first thing that comes up.
That is
the
not
Todd
me.
Wolf Band.
Oh, Todd Wolf. So
Yeah.
the whole Lexar thing is I cannot trust using the Longsys Lexar
Yeah.
cards. I will not trust using those cards anytime soon.
Well, I think they just have to build up a reputation again. It's almost like they're starting over at this point.
but see, this is the confusing part. Anybody just getting started is going to hear the name Lexar and be like, "Oh, I've heard that name before."
course.
and
I mean,
they'll
that's
never know
why they bought it.
right? Because Longsys is not they longed to be in the United States. I wouldn't do it. So for me, it's XQD is Sony. I got to use Sony.
they're the only ones that make it, right?
They're the only ones who make it, or get Lexar to send us more XQD before they go out.
Just send us a freaking truck full of cards.
I want
Back
all
it
the
up.
I want, you know what cards? XQD, SD, micro SD. Those are the three. We don't need compact flash because for whatever reason, Canon still uses stupid compact
I
flash.
use CF for my 5D, but that's it.
And then the card readers, if they could give us 1 million of those.
Oh, they're
But
great.
One thing I do
The
want to say
hubs.
about these cameras is we're doing clean outs from the Nikon D750s.
Yep.
Yesterday, I tried doing a live broadcast with the Cam Link from Elgato using the Canon 60 Mark II. had the hash marks on the screen, and the audio didn't work right.
It doesn't give you a clean HDMI out signal.
Doesn't give you clean
So-
HDMI out, and it didn't
You get a
allow me to get
dirty
the audio.
version. Yeah.
We couldn't get the audio to work,
Yeah.
and we took the same plug, plugged it right into the Nikon, and that worked fine.
Well, you swapped my camera out because this used to be the Canon. What'd you have, the
77D.
T7i
So the
here or
77D we had up there with the 11
yeah.
to 24 lens, and we don't have it up there anymore because
Yeah.
it was the same thing. It's
What
not
lens
a
do
clean
you have
out.
on that?
We have the 10 to 20, the new 10 to 20 from Nikon.
Oh, that piece of
Yeah, look
shit.
at that.
On the D500, the plastic, fantastic.
Oh, that lens is not.
It's,
Oh my god, it's like
yeah,
air.
It literally weighs like an ounce.
It's like $310 of
How do I look?
overpriced, but it is wide. It does work. I didn't realize it doesn't. Right, that's okay. I was trying to think what lens were you going to put on there.
Yeah, that was the only wide enough lens that we had for a crop body.
Remember when we used to put
They don't care about my
the
angle.
GoPro
Dan. They
right up
really
against
don't care
Todd's-
about my angle.
Oh,
at
it's the
all.
best. Nice and distorted.
Yeah.
But what I'm hoping for is possibly maybe down the road get some D850s or something with a 4K clean out because that's full frame as well. No crop.
What to do
And
that? We can't do this for. I mean, we
We
could
could.
broadcast, but
We could
nobody can
live
download.
stream.
Nobody's going to be able to handle that bandwidth.
YouTube can do it.
Yeah, but people won't be able to handle the
Why
bandwidth
not?
because they need to be able to. They need to be able to download that at the same time they're watching it. So it's just
I
going to
mean, my internet
stutter.
can handle it, and
Is
I
you-
don't have the
is
best internet.
YouTube going to crunch it? Like, would it
They
crunch
still
it
compress
and spit it out?
You got to remember,
compressed?
it's
You
not
get-
sending you like a huge 4K file. It's giving you a super compressed 4K file.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad bandwidth wise and buffering.
Well,
so you think we'll
hopefully-
test it on YouTube maybe the next time?
Yeah,
go
I mean,
around?
we can definitely test not the 4K yet because we don't have 4K
Right,
ready
sure.
cameras, but the 1080 at least.
Well, the cool
It'll look
thing
way
is
better.
the Nikon D850 comes out tomorrow, and it's possible that we may have 3 of them somehow. Possibly. I'll tell you, I'm going to buy one at Alan's camera, and then there's 2 more coming in the mail for something else that hopefully will happen depending on some wildfire stuff.
yeah.
And it could be interesting to have 3 of them when the world wants them because they've
When
been
nobody
sold out.
has them.
Except for the guy on Facebook who just sent me a message today with a picture of his D850.
Oh, yeah?
Well, yeah, he's like, check the banding to see if there's banding issues.
With what, the 30 like frames per second electronic?
Not the 30 with just shooting the 6 frames a second.
Oh.
Well, I mean, it
Interesting.
could be, but again, I was like, was it in a real world situation? Were you looking for banding? Not that it makes it better if it's there, but you know,
We'll have to
We'll have
obviously
to
test it out and
just
see
take it
if
to
it
the
is there.
soccer game. We're not taking it to the soccer game. Oh yeah, I got to get that model possibly for Friday. What's her name?
Tammy Jean.
Hey, somebody Google Tammy Jean.
Nope.
Nope. Cut that out. Oh wait, damn it!
So we may have her as a model.
No, Tammy Jean. She's very cool. I've had her in some video projects of mine. She's very sweet
Cool.
and beautiful.
What do we got next?
Exactly. Oh, you're making me move on?
Yeah.
DJI.
I'll do this like you do to me.
Well, that's because back in the day they couldn't see what was going on.
Yeah.
Like when we just did audio and stuff.
It's great when I'm mid-sentence and you're doing this.
No, that doesn't mean that just means let's move on after your thought is over.
But you keep doing it until I
Jared.
stop.
Shut up, guys. DJI announced 2 new drones, and I was like, "Hey, thanks for the press release, guys." It didn't ever show up, or the
Oh,
NDA
yeah.
information. So
The Platinum.
So when I read it, it was the DJI Mavic Pro Platinum that they say.
Bling bling.
So I don't. I
We,
didn't.
by the way, love that for Photo News Fix.
We
thought that was the
absolutely
best
love
thing
that.
That
ever.
was funny, but in Photo News Fix, I wrote that it was only 3 minutes better, and you're like, well, that's not bad. No, I was actually trying to get across the point that that is not that big of a deal. 30 minutes
I mean, it's still
versus
better.
27.
It's not bad.
It's 3 minutes. It's not a big deal. But the sound, I don't give a shit. Like 4 decibels. It's only 4 decibels.
Oh, yeah. It's 60% less
I mean,
noisy.
it's not that loud to begin with. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And then they
You
also
could be more of a creeper with it, I guess, at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know whose house we could fly over and look at his daughter. That'd be hot.
Ooh.
Yeah. Anyway.
I was waiting for it.
Dan better be ready.
Phone call.
I don't know. Is he ready? Just let the phone ring a little bit.
It's Meredith. You're supposed to know.
How do you know that? Oh, we have caller ID.
Oh, the
caller
caller
ID
ID
shows
shows Meredith
Yeah, we have caller
is
ID.
coming. Yeah.
Maybe as.
And he's
just
still.
take, just
and
take, yeah.
He's on the line. Hey, Meredith.
Well, hello there, you son bitches. I'm glad to see you put the little monkey to work there, little Danny boy. He He does look like Gollum. Don't let your rings alone, because he might pick him up and stick him in his ring himself. So I just wanted to chime in here with your little bling bling platinum drone flying around trying to creep on my daughter. I already had some platinum laced boys running around trying to creep on my daughter, and you know I don't like them. So that's all I got to say. Don't wrap me up, Jared. I swear to God, I will smack the taste out of your mouth. Goodbye.
Jew. That wasn't. I wasn't wrapping you up. I was telling Dan to cut to the close up of you.
I don't even know how he would know you were wrapping him up though. Because I mean,
I wasn't.
it
he's
wasn't
not,
like
it's not like
Skype.
he's here. He can't
He's not
see us.
here.
I mean, maybe he's watching the Facebook
Isn't he in
Live.
the
what I'm
Orville
saying.
office? The Orpheus office?
Dan pulled that off.
Mostly.
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 Yeah.
Good job, Dan.
Mostly.
That's for
mostly.
Dan. This
So,
is for Dan.
Anyway, they came out with the Iridium Black or something.
Oh, this is for the Phantom 4, right?
Yeah, the Phantom 4 Pro. Like, I
whatever
thought
it's
they were
called
actually
now.
replacing stuff, but thankfully they didn't replace the Mavic Pro.
So what is the difference with the new Phantom 4, though? That's what I don't understand.
Is that, Todd, are you playing a sound
That
effect?
has nothing to do
That's
with me.
actually Cyrus
That's
outside.
the ghetto.
Yeah, speaking of, they cleared out the people from underneath the bridge. Anyway,
Oh,
go ahead.
Nice.
That's good.
After they
No, but I was saying,
after they broke into your car.
What is the Phantom 4, the new black version or whatever it's called?
That's racism, Steven.
Whoa.
It's Iridium, please.
Iridium, excuse me.
Iridium.
It's black.
No, it's black. It's the same as the Phantom 4 Pro, whatever.
There's nothing different, but
it's just the color.
just
I
the
think
color.
it's just the color.
That's it.
That's
I
kind of
think-
cool though.
That's
I think that's kind of
yes.
cool.
I mean, I feel like I would rather have a white version
Whoa!
Don't say it's
whoa,
racist.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
because I feel like that's not as easy to spot in the sky than a giant black one. I'm just gonna stop talking now.
please keep talking
going.
live.
What else, Steven?
Please
Because at least
keep
that mixes
talking.
in with the clouds and everything. And
Mixes
it's not
in.
right there.
See, at this point, Jared would say something really
Yeah,
bad.
usually
and we'd
this
be
is
like,
what we-
Dan, you gotta cut that out.
Definitely cut
you
that
gotta
cable.
cut that out. Dan would be scribbling notes like that's bad.
Dan has a whole list of notes for me. Should we cut this part out? This part? Probably this part.
Here, get ready to bleep this, Dan.
Yeah,
live bleep
I
either.
definitely feel. I mean, the black one would be cool, I guess. If you wanted to hide it, like in the night sky.
Now, nighttime, obviously that
if
works
you're
out.
trying to be super creeper,
Yeah, but not during the
that
daytime.
might be
for the
good, I guess.
except for the blinking red and
Yeah, but
green
you can
lights.
turn
you
them
can
off.
turn them off.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
you just tape over them or something.
Or you could do that too, but I'm pretty sure you can turn them off
Tape
in the
over
app.
with your gaffer power pit. Sorry, I
Whoa.
messed that up.
Gaffer power tape doesn't fix
Exactly.
Frank. But you know what fixes Frank? Sugru.
Sugru.
Speaking of, his dad uses Sugru.
Does he?
He does. The one day he's doing something with his guitar, and he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna use the Sugru. I'm like, you're gonna use what?
How does he know about Sugru?
Todd, tell him I've got like 20 packs that he could have.
He would love that.
I always think it looks like
like Play-Doh.
Airheads.
It does.
You should
yeah.
eat them.
You can't eat it, but you should probably eat it. You
Or
should
like-
probably eat it.
Yeah,
Jared,
Laffy Taffy or
Jared.
something.
Todd, get what? What you want me to do? You want me to?
Wrap it up.
You want me to do
Wrap it
a
up. Wrap it up.
cartwheel?
Wrap it up.
Well, I don't know what to wrap
Moving
it
on.
into,
Moving on.
Todd. What other news was there for us to talk about?
That's about it.
I think that was the big stuff.
Yeah.
I think that was the big one.
Oh, and then the Allen's event's on the 22nd and 23rd, so it's all day Friday, but we think most people will show up on Saturday. That's the point. Come hang out, get all that stuff done. But I'm looking forward to the D850s coming around so that I think it's going to be a pretty baller camera.
Yeah.
Seems
it's
that
loaded.
way.
It's
Seems that
totally
way.
loaded.
Who else is loaded right now? Todd?
Yep.
Or Charlie Gluten?
No. Nope.
No?
Nope.
All right, so I guess you want me to wrap it up? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, we got memes.
Well, we've got memes.
We could do
I didn't know
memes.
we had memes. That wasn't on the list.
Yeah, we've got some
Damn it,
memes.
Steven!
We've got some memes.
Yeah, we can go to memes. You can watch them on the little monitor there.
can
we'll
watch
see
them
how
right
that
here.
works.
Todd
Jared's
can
not gonna be able to
direct
see
it.
I
them.
won't be able to see it. Go
But
ahead.
all right, let me switch to my memes.
Now, it has been a while since we did some memes.
There, now Jared can see the memes. So, you good, Dan? You on my meme?
you're good.
All right. So the first one here, let's try this out. The first one is from Broke Neck Jesus. This one's called Hello.
Is that Meredith?
Hello, is it me you're looking for?
Hello? Is it me you're looking for?
Fro. It's Fro. Looking
I can
Fro.
see
I know you
it in
can't
your
read that.
eyes.
Next one is
I
from.
can see it in your thighs.
The next one is from Eco Valahra.
Is that Todd?
It's called Todd Winning.
Oh, Jesus, look at that.
That's a good one.
He
That's
beat
pretty
Usain
good.
Bolt.
Yeah.
He is actually. I think he's
I'm,
beating him.
I'm Mofire.
with those jeans.
Next one is from Josh
Android.
Griggs. This one's Frono's Android. Now, keep in mind, these are from a couple weeks ago when you launched on Android with
My Gear
with
Vault.
My Gear Vault.
That was like months ago,
so,
I feel like.
you know, these are, I'm doing a little catch up
So
here.
you can email memes if you still want to do them to singwheelofro@gmail.com because it matches.
And this is the next one. This is from LJ Rogers, and it's just called It Looks Like Steven.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure
By
that's
the way,
the guy from Harry Potter.
It is. It's Neville from Harry Potter, and he has T-shirts now that he sells, and I think that's him wearing it.
What's the shirt
I
say?
tried to figure it out because that does look just like me, and it's scary.
Yeah, yeah. And
It says, like,
finally,
started
this
from the
one is
bottom.
like the Simpsonized Fro team.
That's awesome.
And
that I saw on Twitter.
I
a
don't
few
have
weeks
the
back.
guy's name. I apologize.
Where's
but it's the Fro
Sanchez
team.
been?
Well, we haven't asked for memes for quite
We
some
haven't
time.
asked for memes for a while. And
Gosh darn it, Steven Sanchez.
yeah.
So those are memes. If you want to send them in, send them to singwheelofro@gmail.com if you want to go ahead and do that.
And we just wanted to see if we could actually pull it off this week
Yeah.
with this
Yeah,
live
that-
stream.
that
so
was
they
tricky.
are fairly old, those ones.
Yeah.
But we've never
And we haven't asked
We've
for
never shown them before. And we haven't asked for a while.
Yeah.
But please send in fresh ones starting in 2 weeks.
We're gonna try to
we'll start pulling them again.
do
and
more of that stuff because if we could pull it off with Danny,
a little more prepared next time. We'll pull it off better next time.
Exactly.
And so what I'll say is if you're watching this later on the YouTubes or wherever you're watching it, be sure to leave comments about the live
Yeah.
stream. We understand it's not going to be the same or as
No.
it's not going to be as polished as the other one, but what you need to understand, and when I say the other one, what we've been doing for a long time, you got to understand that this will cut 2 full days of editing out, which is highly important so that we can get to other content that we put out like real world reviews, which still are taking a while to get out because it takes a lot of time, and we have a million other things that we're doing. So we kind of have to focus on it. But this should free up extra time for Dan every other week, or just in general. So not taking extra time.
It could allow us to do other shows.
Yeah,
Like,
that would before though that would fill up Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for Dan's schedule. Now it's
Yeah.
literally half
crazy.
of Wednesday
Yeah.
and we're done. I mean, it takes a lot more pre-production with
Yep.
inserting pictures and stuff like
But
that.
it doesn't take
makes
2 days of pre-production.
It doesn't take it at all. It
No.
takes maybe 2 hours or so
Exactly.
before the show.
Exactly.
So I think it's much better. And like you said, we can do more shows and utilize the live stream for a lot of other things.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
There we
So
go.
to wrap it all up again, Alan's event. What?
Oh yeah, do you have any gear of the week this week?
Oh yeah, I do have gear of the week. Did
you skip it?
No, I wrote it down. I wrote it down. It's not coasters.
job.
I didn't do coasters.
One job.
One job.
Finally. Steven says that to me all the time, and I always miss it.
This is
What
the
is
What
that?
is this thing?
This is the Spectacle.
Holy battery pack.
Specular. It's called Specular.
Well,
It's
you can't plug it in, can you?
No, I'm not going to plug it in right now.
So it's a light.
You know Udi from DIY Photography?
Yeah.
So this is, well, they're LED lights, and you can make them.
Is this the one that Von Wong was like holding up in a video?
Yeah, that's what Von Wong was folding up in a video.
Oh.
So they sent me one as well, and you can do all different types of things. I haven't fully played with it yet.
And it's modular where you can keep attaching more and more on.
You can attach more and more on. You could also do this where you take this off, and then you pop out the LED light, which is actually pretty funny. That you could go either way with that, popping it in or out, and add more, so you could do like weird shapes with it. But it would be really cool to do portraits because you kind of put it in and you make it into a.
Basically, whatever catch light you want to make it into. Correct?
You can make it in. Yes,
A
you can make
circular
it into a
catch
catch
light.
Triangle,
light.
you
Crazy
can do
alien
a
looking catch light.
rectangle.
Rectangle.
That's
yeah.
cool. That's really cool.
I was doing that wrong.
That is pretty cool.
So you can do all those different
What's
things. with
the
it.
price for something like this?
$650 for the kit.
For how much is in a kit?
You get what you're looking at here,
This.
plus other attachment points.
Okay.
Because I've got a couple of things attached at the end here and here, but you could make it the square. If you could do stuff like this.
Nice.
And then you would hold it here, and it's dimmable and turn-onable, and that's called specular.
Turn-onable is the
Turn
technical
onable,
term.
I love
That's
that.
the technical
Yeah.
term.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
the technical term,
Yeah.
is turn-onable.
That's cool.
But it is a pretty cool option, especially for modular. It also makes for a good reading light at home, a very expensive reading light. But you can add more to it, make a leaf out of it, and do all that cool stuff.
A diamond.
Cool, man.
Diamonds
Sweet.
are forever. So that is it. You can get more information. Just Google Specular, and it's SPE-cular with a K.
There you go.
It's a light. Go to DIY.
Dan, add that in. Oh, damn it.
DIYphoto.com .net, is it?
I think it's .net, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll see ads on his site
DIYphotography.net.
for the Specular. And that's it. It's Raw Talk episode 228. You guys have anything else to say?
I just hope the stream went well.
Congratulations,
gotta
guys.
say.
Congratulations, Dan.
Took a while to finally set this thing up and get it going, but I think we pulled it off. I mean, Dan would know the best. He's been actually controlling the stream.
I mean, you know,
and he's
we're
shaking
going
his
to
head
watch
no.
it in about a half an hour, and we'll probably be yelling at Dan, kicking him around the street
Probably.
for the next hour or
Yeah.
so, you know.
Sounds
We'll
about
be
right.
buried in the garden.
It's
gonna be a fun day.
Thanks for working here, Dan.
Yeah.
It was nice seeing you.
It's been a good run.
All right. I'm signing off. Don't forget Saturday, we got that personal project possibly being released. Pay attention for that. And what's cool is we're talking in kind of real time. We talk on Wednesday. It's coming up on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also people are watching it live.
It's not a week later almost.
So
Yeah.
we'll call that it. That's Raw Talk episode number 228. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, we don't have a GoPro.
We don't have the
We don't have
GoPro
a
angle,
GoPro.
but we hopefully will next time.
Steven's going to go make the